Welcome from the Easter weekend directly from Austria with another week in review. Austria is on another hard lockdown, but what else happened in the world in the last weeks or the last day of March? So when I look outside the window, spring seems to be in full swing and the cold winter days actually are gone. We have probably during the day degrees in the low 20s on a Celsius scale. The nights are still a little bit cold. So, but actually winter is only a faint memory. And life is slowly coming back to normal. We have the Easter weekend. I was born in a Catholic society. So what we are celebrating during the Easter weekend, it's the resurrection of Christ. And to me, it was always a very inspiring time, as around the Easter weekend, clearly the separation happened between the cold winter days and the not so warm like in summer, but still warmer days with the first flowers that start blooming, cherry trees, and everyone is starting to get outside, getting fresh air, and meeting friends and family. So with the life coming back, I hope also the lockdowns will come to an end and we get a grip of the coronavirus. But what else was going on this week? When I look at the newspapers, I see Mrs. Lagarde saying that the European Central Bank could have a digital currency within 4 years. Looking at the vaccination programs in Europe, well, good question whether it's really possible in 4 years to have a digital currency. But actually, what are the use cases? What is a digital euro for? As in my opinion, almost all transactions already happen 90% digital and only 10% are with physical money. Is there any added benefit? Read the article in the link below. The pandemic. We have a lockdown here in Austria and hopefully it's going away. So I'm positive that at the same time next year we will be in the post-pandemic world. But what will change? Will we go back to the old days before 2020, or will there be new practices? McKinsey issued a podcast and a transcript in which they discuss what might happen in the coming months. Also, you see and will find the link to this article in the description, which actually links you to my Medium profile, and there you find everything you need. Let's move forward. Cryptocurrencies. I am still in the process of getting acquainted with the topic of cryptocurrencies, and probably funny for the Bitcoin fans and Ether fans and people who are more familiar than I am with the space. My association of Polkadot so far was that it's part of a song from the 60s with the yellow polka dot bikini, where a kid is obviously not willing to come out of the locker room because it's so embarrassing. And now I learned that Polkadot actually is also a cryptocurrency. And interestingly, companies start raising money and significant amounts of money. For example, Engine raises nearly $19 million to build a Polkadot-based blockchain for NFTs. And there is a lot of money flowing, obviously, in the cryptocurrency space. And what's nice for me, use cases are being built by real-life companies, which helped me to understand the space better. Also, the link in the description to this article. let's come to article number 4 for the last week. We had it already, lockdowns, we have enough of it. We don't want, I actually don't want another lockdown anymore. Lockdowns usually are meant to contain a virus in a small area, and so far no worldwide lockdown was imposed on society. And there is still the scientific question open: do lockdowns really help to control the coronavirus or any other virus? Why is this question relevant? Since I started working in the pharma industry developing drugs in 2006, every 3 to 5 years, I saw a pandemic warning. A new virus was spreading. And lucky for us, most of the viruses just vanish and disappear or are of no real threat. So I experienced that in the last 15 years. My assumption is that also in the coming 15 years, we see one or the other virus spreading to us human beings. And maybe one of these viruses is a real threat and more dangerous than SARS-CoV-2. So are lockdowns really the go-to measure to contain viruses? In the description below, we will find a link to an article that is pondering this question. And I think in this article are 22 links to scientific results worth reading. And no, it's not really useful to have worldwide lockdowns, is the conclusion at the end. Speaking of coronavirus, there is also this new concept that following Israel, some countries think about issuing green passports. Green passports are meant for people to prove that they are vaccinated, which when we think about human rights, that somebody has to prove a certain health status is, in my opinion, a very questionable practice. But the European Union is thinking about it, and they try also to build that. And yeah, we don't really get the vaccination programs running, so green passports in June. We will see if that happens. My opinion, it's against the human rights. So the health status, especially when it comes to vaccination for, let's face it, not really dangerous virus when I look at the statistics, shouldn't be basically needed for people to prove that they are vaccinated. Florida's governor sees it similarly, and he bans COVID-19 vaccine passports. Link to the article in the description below. So that was it for this week. See you next week with some news from this week. And I said weeks, often enough, I think, in the last 10 minutes. Have a great week ahead. Enjoy it.